All right. We got it. This is going to happen. So, welcome everyone. I'm here. I'm going to be interviewing Jaimie. She is a VBAC3C mama. She's author of Brave, Beautiful Birth, Trusting God Through VBAC, and Doula Extraordinaire. And I wanted to have her on today because, one, she's totally awesome. Two, she has such a cool story. I see you. I'm going to add you. And three, it's just super fun to hear about other people's lives and doula work from someone other than me. So I want those of you who are watching the replay or here now, post your emoji that you use the most or your favorite and then where you're watching from. We really would like to get to know you and just see you. And yeah, it's just really fun. So welcome all. I'm going to be inviting Jaimie on. All right. Connecting.
Here we are.
Is it working?
I think so.
Okay, we'll roll with it.
Sounds good.
All right. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we didn't get too far into it last time, so let's try it again, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I told them a little bit about you, not too much detail, but go ahead and tell me or tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4, and I love my kids with all my heart and soul. My husband, Ben, we've been married for 16 years. He's in the home building business, so we've built 2 of our houses, and we live in the country. We love that. And after I had my life-changing birth with my 4th baby, I decided I needed to write a book and I wanted to help people. So I decided to train as a doula, and I have loved learning about it. It's so fascinating to me.
Yes, I love that. So you've had 3 C-sections and 1 VBAC then,
Yes.
right? And is that what got you interested in? That's what got you interested in being a doula. But did you have any doulas with you at any of your births, or like how did you hear about doulas?
Yeah, well, my first 3, I had no doula. I didn't know that what a doula was or that doulas existed. My 4th one, I had a doula, and I'm guessing one of my good friends, I heard from her, she had a VBAC after 1 C-section. And she used a doula. And when I started to educate myself on VBAC, I knew that I wanted to do every single thing possible to have the birth that I wanted. And for me, that meant several things, but one of them included a doula. I wanted someone by my side who I could trust, that was only there supporting me, had no other agenda, and that would be able to give me information, words of encouragement, and all the things while I was in a very intense place, because I knew that in one way or the other that birth would change me. So I was willing to make the investment financially into a doula, because really I was making that for myself.
Yeah, that is so cool. So what do you think it was about your 4th birth that you started researching, or had you attempted VBAC before? What made you start researching into VBAC?
Well, my 3rd birth, and I did write about it in my book, and it's really hard for me. Sometimes when I read it, I just cry, because my first 2 babies, I went into labor. And so with a C-section with that, I sort of felt like, okay, like I'm in labor at least. My 3rd one, I just showed up on the day, and it felt so very unnatural to me. I had major anxiety. I didn't sleep the night before. I didn't want to go. I felt like I had to because I was on a schedule of a time frame. And then when I got there for the C-section, the doctor was running behind, not probably any fault of his, but I was pushed right in front of the operating room and watched them prepare everything while I was waiting for the doctor. And I just felt like I can't breathe. I want to run away. This is not how I want to be doing it. And so I just knew before I got pregnant with my 4th, if and when I get pregnant with my 4th, because I felt like God had said my family wasn't complete yet. So I knew I would not be doing it. I could not do that again. There was no way I could do it. And I was like, I don't care who supports me. I don't care where I'm driving. I don't care what's going on. I cannot do that again. I can't.
Yeah. That just makes me so sad. Like, I feel all those emotions. It's such a scary thing. And, like, for those moms who go into, like, a scheduled C-section, it's so hard. You're
Mm-hmm.
literally laying down your body for your baby. And that it's amazing. But our heart, I know, like, as VBAC moms, we want you to at least know that there's another way. Like, you have options. And
Exactly.
yeah, that's so cool, and I'm so glad you wrote a book about it because I'm sure did that help kind of getting out your experience onto paper.
Yeah, well, and it was kind of like after I had my fourth baby, I kept telling my husband, I don't know what to do with myself. Like that rocked my world so deeply. Like I spent 10 months preparing for that plus. And then when it happened, I'm like, now what do I do? And everybody's like, well, you have a baby to take care of. You have three kids. I'm like, no, but something's missing. Like I have a void. And my husband's like, you need to write your story. Like start writing it. So it'd be like I'd wake up in the middle of the night to nurse her at like 3 a.m. and then I would nurse her and then I would write because I would have all these things that I'm like, I've got to get it out. So it was good for me.
Yeah. Oh man, once you have a message to share, it's so hard to stay quiet about it.
It
So
really is.
yeah, it's like this boils up inside of you. You just have to get it out.
I know. I know.
Yes, that's I feel you. I feel you. Okay, so as a doula, I want to know your favorite birth story that you've experienced. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I thought about this, and I know this is maybe going to sound cheesy, but my favorite birth is usually the one I'm at, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single time I go to a birth, and even when things don't go as planned, I see that mom being so strong. Like, she is like the strongest person I know in that moment. And I'm just amazed. Even if she has an epidural, which some people are like, I didn't want to get one, but then I did. I'm like, she's still working so hard. She's pushing out her baby. Even if it's a C-section, I just find incredible strength. Like seeing the strength of a mom blows me away. Like every single time, like I'm just amazed. So I can't really look back and say that I have a favorite because every single time that I have been at a birth in that moment, it's like my favorite. And I'm like, I'm so amazed by you. Like you're my favorite person. You're just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I feel yeah. There's something so spiritual about birth, and
Isn't
it's
it?
yeah, it's not looked at as something that incredible anymore. It's something more like a duty to get a baby out of it. At least from
Right.
what I hear in the birth world, and
Yeah.
it's life changing, and that's why birth matters so much. So yeah, it's
It
cool.
does. It does. And I feel like, I don't know if you feel this way um, when you're at births, but I feel like time stands still. Like nothing else is going on. This is like the most important thing in the world. Doesn't everybody know? Like this couple is having a baby. Like
Yeah.
it's just so important. And I take it super seriously, not in a bad way, but like I really want to do everything I can to support people because it
Mhm.
really does matter.
It does. It does. So, is there one of that stands out to you, like a birth story that you've been at, or a birth that you've been at that you really enjoyed, or
Yeah,
not
let
really?
me think if there's one that I really, I mean, I like I said, I've enjoyed them all, even though they've been different. There was this one mom who was induced, and um, her water broke in the process, and things started to get really crazy because she was on pitocin.
Mm.
Um, but she wanted to get an epidural, which I support whatever people want. But she was so strong. Like she was doing it. She was like making it through those contractions. I was just in awe of her. Really in awe of her. Um, like I said, I'm a person that I can easily find beauty in every single person that I meet. And so every single birth that I've been to, I've loved, even the hard ones, even the longer ones. Like one mom I was with pushed for 4 hours, and I'm like, you're so strong. Like you
Yeah.
are so amazing.
Did she have
So
an
it's just,
epidural?
she did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. So it's hard for me to say one of them has been my favorite because each of them, the couples I find I've gotten to work with the most amazing people, and there's been some that are super funny and they crack me up so much and I just laugh, and other ones that are just like, wow, look at the way he like is loving her right now. Like he's like combing her hair and like I just those moments, they don't see them, but I get to, and it like totally blows me away.
Yeah, they're so special. I know every one of my clients holds a special place in my heart. That is so true. So, so true.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, the baby being born is amazing and beautiful, and that's all why we're there. But the process of getting there is just amazing and beautiful. Even in the hard moments, it just people amaze me.
Yep. Yes. So,
Yeah.
do you have any specialties or like areas that you like to focus on, or yeah,
Yeah.
more about that?
Well, I love VBAC just because I studied so hard for myself that I feel like I can give that knowledge to other people or point them in the direction of where to find the best resources. So obviously, I love that. And then I took one of Gina Kirby's workshops for the Reboso and got certified in that. And I love that tremendously. Like, it's one of my favorite things. And every client I work with gets one as their own personal Reboso that we work together with. And I show them how to use in pregnancy and prepare them to use it during labor because it promotes relaxation. And if we can be relaxed in pregnancy and in labor, that's a big key. So that is truly one of my favorites. Obviously, it has rich history and culture. It's not part of our culture. It's part of the Mexican culture, and it has great significance and cultural meaning to them. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, but it's also got great use in pregnancy and labor, and so that's one of my favorites.
Yes, I love that. I know I'm learning so much about Rebosa. I took a spinning babies course. And
Recently or a while ago?
Yep,
Okay.
no, just recently. And well, when was that?
Because I think they're going around right now because we have one
are.
coming to us, and I think I'm going.
Go. Seriously. Like,
so good.
Whatever you can do, go to it. It is amazing. And the clients that I used it at, like, just crazy things. I'm telling you. It is so awesome. So whatever you can do to get there, go. And I see there's some doulas on here who've also been onto spinning babies. So, yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to go.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about your book. And I know, it's about your story, and so we heard a little bit about it, but is there anything in particular you'd like to share about your book?
Sure. Well, it is my story, and it's not just about the VBAC. It's about me as a person and the struggles that I faced. I'm really just raw and open in it. My first baby came naturally as far as we wanted to get pregnant that month, then we got pregnant. My second baby, it didn't. So I struggled with jealousy, watching people that were pregnant with me the first time, like my friends, we're all pregnant together and they're getting pregnant and I'm not getting pregnant. That was like super hard for me because I had in my mind what I thought my plans were going to be for our family. And there wasn't really anything wrong with me. I just wasn't getting pregnant. So God gave me a promise one day. I was reading my Bible, and he told me when my baby would be born, the next one. And I went through some trials. I ended up not getting my cycle for a while, thinking, what is going on? I ended up getting pregnant and having him exactly when God told me I would. So
I love
that is really cool. And he gave me the name for my baby and my husband the same name that he didn't tell. I mean, he told us separately, which is really cool. Caleb in the Bible believed God wholeheartedly, even in the midst of discouragement. So I just talk about the ways that God gave me pillars to fall back on when I wanted to trust him for the next thing. And I think we all have that in our lives where we go through hard times, but we can look back and be like, no, God was faithful and I can trust him again. So I guess I try to weave through the things that most of us struggle through. I hope I'm not alone in saying I struggled with being jealous or being this or having fears, because I really did have to fight fear with my pregnancy. on my fourth one, but then I learned to speak truth. And this is something that you talked about before when we were talking, and that's like positive affirmations and who are we in Christ, and that we're victorious. I know some of that's controversial with people because they say you don't want to say that, and then what if it doesn't happen? But I just felt like I'm saying it. I am saying it, and I am believing it, and my words matter. My words have vibration and energy, and words change situations and circumstances. So that was a huge lesson that I learned from that birth was I need to say what I want to have come to pass, and I need to focus on what I want and not what I don't want, because whatever we focus on is oftentimes what we'll receive or what we'll get. So that was something I worked hard on, was training my mind and training my mouth. I really watched what came out of my mouth, and I watched what happened in my head. So I was a people-pleasing person, and I had done that all my life. I always did what people wanted.
We lost your audio for a second. Here, I'm gonna. Okay, there we go.
Are we back?
Yeah, so you really trained your mouth, and you really trained your mind.
Right. Yes. So the birth totally changed me. It changed me, and it helped me to get over my people-pleasing tendencies and to do what I felt like God wanted me to do. So I think birth changes us, good or bad, like our experiences with birth. So yeah.
Yeah, the power of life and death is in our tongue. And that is,
Absolutely.
I don't think I ever fully believed the importance of positive affirmations and even what other people are saying around me. And so I was really selective in who I told I was going to have a home birth, especially because I knew that any negative thoughts, any negative words going into my head would change what would happen and would play a big part in like that mind game of birth.
Absolutely. And I tell the story when I was in labor, like the anesthesiologist came in and said, if you need a C-section, this is what we're going to do. I'm thinking, yeah, I got it. Like I've had 3. I understand. You don't need to explain. I was kind and listened to him. As soon as he left, I was like, not for me. Just clear in the air. I'm here for a VBAC. I'm having a VBAC. God is my strength. I'm strong. I just wanted to clear my mind and the air of what was said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the head game is real, and all of the thoughts that come in your head, you can either dwell on those thoughts and really let them control you, and the fear that comes in with those thoughts, you can just let that override your decision making. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so was there any like practical things that you did to just rid your mind of those anytime they came in? Because it's daily, right? Like
It is.
it was a daily thing.
Absolutely. I actually did Dr. Caroline Leaf. I don't know if you know her. She's a Christian brain neuroscientist.
Mm-hmm.
And I did her 21-day detox. So I signed up. It was like $24.95. You get it for a whole year. You can go online. You work on one thought for 21 days, and then you start over and do a new thought. I did that during my whole pregnancy because she says in 21 days you start changing it, but it takes like another, I think it's two months to completely or like rid yourself of that thought, but you can do it while working on other things. So I did that. And then I listened to some sermons about the power that we have in our minds and in our mouth. I read a book called Words That Move Mountains, and it's all about the words that we speak, and we do have mountain moving ability in our mouths. I wrote out verses, and I would take walks, and I would say those verses over and over and over till it became a part of me. until it became what I actually believed because I planted it in my heart. And then when I went to bed, I would visualize the birth that I wanted every single night. I saw myself having my baby vaginally. And I got into my ninth month. I had my like last prenatal with my doula, and I was just like, I know I'm having a VBAC. Like, I believe nothing else. Like, I had put so much into myself spiritually and mentally and about the birth that it was like, I'm doing this. Like, I have no other option. Like, this is what I'm doing, and nobody can talk me out of it. I felt so strong, like so strong. And then I like worked out too. Like, I would do T25 with Shaun T
Yeah.
and a beach body program. And like my husband would be like, I'm so proud of you for doing this. And it just helped me to get out my emotions, because sometimes I just felt like so much is welling up in me. Like, I want this so bad. And it was just great for me to be able to do something physical where I could punch and kick and like squat. Like, I know it sounds so crazy, but it helped me mentally to just get in the zone of like, I'm okay. Like, I'm strong. Like, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm. That is so cool and so helpful. Oh my goodness. Yes. The mind game is real. And whether it is for VBAC or just like it's your first pregnancy, we are so surrounded by terrible things when it comes to birth and like the labor process. And people are always saying negative things. So our heads are already full of that.
Exactly.
And it takes work to get rid of it. So those are great practical things. Thank you so, so much. I think that's going to help a lot of people for sure.
The other thing I did was I figured I've read everything. I know everything that I need to know about birth. I'm done reading about that. I'm done being in the support groups online. I'm done being on Facebook. I don't want to have anybody else's words flowing through my head except God's and my own. So I kind of got in my own little ball and focused.
Yeah, that is really important. Yeah, man, that is and that's so strong of you too, to like know yourself that well and to be so determined about what type of birth you wanted and lay out the steps, lay out the plan, like this is what I'm gonna do. And you did it. You did it.
I know. Sometimes I think back because it's almost 5 years and I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. Like, okay. I get going with, like how we do, like helping other people and doing this and doing that. And I'm like, sometimes I take myself back and I'm like, okay, I did it. I can do other things too. It's an empowering experience, as you know.
So empowering. Yeah, life-changing. Like, my husband always makes fun of me because I think he was on here watching too. I always say, oh, that's life-changing, when it's really not that life-changing.
Right.
But I'm serious. Birth is life-changing, like literally life-changing.
Yes, I love it.
Oh man. Okay, so I added this on last minute, so are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Okay. So, two things, but what's one piece of advice you can share specifically with VBAC moms who are approaching their birth?
Yes, this is it right here, friends. I know it sounds so simple, but it's not. Believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading a book right now. I'm not reading it. I'm listening to it on YouTube. And it's called, it's something about the power of belief. And if you believe in yourself, it talks about all these people that have succeeded at so many things. And it wasn't because they were super smart or super fit or had all the money in the world. It was because they believed in who they were and they didn't quit. And to me, that just shows like possibilities are endless, folks. Like, I know that there are things that happen in birth that are outside of the realm that we can control. I get it. But also, birth is a very natural process. And usually, if we back off and just let it be, things flow really great. And so, we know that there's a possibility of a C-section. There's a possibility of C-section at every birth. But why focus on that? Why focus on what could go wrong? We should be focusing on what could go right. And sometimes we'll have doctors give you a certain percentage of what your chance is, or, well, you didn't do it last time, or whatever. And it's like, don't let the words of another resonate in your mind and your heart stronger than your own words. Like, you don't need anybody else to believe in you. You do need to believe in yourself, because your belief is what is going to ground you better than anybody else's words, because people can change their mind every day on what they think you are or your abilities or your capabilities. We can't base our beliefs on what other people think should or could happen, because number one, they're not invested as we are. They're not as educated probably as we are. And like I said, their opinions can change every day. Their words can change every day. Even a professional, like, they're giving you advice based on possible research. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're the one that can't do it. What if you're the one that can do it? So my advice is do what it takes to believe in yourself, whatever it takes. Read books, write affirmations, like, invest in yourself. That's the best investment that you can make, is right back into yourself.
Preach it, sister. Oh,
watch out.
God, that is so good. If we ever did get together in real life, our husbands would just go nuts, probably.
Right. I know.
Oh my goodness, I just love talking to you. Okay, so one last thing and then we'll finish up. For the first time mom who is newly pregnant or, about to have her first child, what is the number one thing you would say to the first time mom?
Educate yourself. You cannot expect to go to the hospital and them to take care of you. Because they're there to make sure you're safe and you're alive. Beyond that, they're not there for your emotional needs. They're not there to make sure that, like, later down the road you have a great birth experience. They just want to make sure you and your baby are safe and healthy. But there's more to a healthy mom than a safe baby and a safe mama coming out of the experience health-wise. That's only a small part of it. We have to educate our.
Oh, no.
Sorry, someone was calling. We have to educate ourselves. We have to. And with that, I think the best way that you can do that is to have a doula by your side, because you might not have all the information. And sadly, like, we shouldn't have to be doctors, but we really need to get the education. But get your doula with you. Have a doula with you. Hire her early on in pregnancy so you can use her as a resource. And you can go to her with your emotional needs as well. And everything that she provides, you're getting full access to instead of waiting until the very end. Take advantage of what she can offer to you.
Yes, that is so good. And yeah, hire early on, because really, like, that is important. There's so much that goes on with pregnancy before the delivery that doulas can help benefit. And yeah, we're definitely a source of information and education, and that's so great. I love that point. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, well, is there any last thoughts, anything that you would like to say about pregnancy, birth, anything?
I just want to give a shout out to you again, and I'll call you guys my doula sisters, Kinsey and Sarah and other ladies out there that are making a huge impact for people and really putting their hearts out there. There's many other people, but I just saw your names on here, and you, like, I just am grateful because it's people like you guys that are going to help make a difference, and you are making a difference. Even if we just work with one person at a time, we're still affecting generations to come, right? Because if you can help a mom and a dad have a good birth experience, that affects them as parents to their baby. It affects that child's life as they grow up, their view of birth. So I just appreciate you ladies, whether you're writing your course as you did, which I'm so proud of you in so many ways. Let me count my ways. Or if people who are involved in ICANN, or people that are just putting good information out there, like, I admire you guys so much. Call you my sisters.
Yeah. Takes a tribe. And I'm thankful for all of the doula support that we have, and it's just amazing. It's amazing, the birth community that is around the world. It's mind-blowing. And yes. Okay, well, tell us where we can find you, where we can find your book. If we want to keep in contact, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so I'm mostly active on my birth page, which is Jaimie Schrock, Birth and Bereavement Doula. And then my book is on Amazon, and it's on Barnes & Noble and other sources online. So it's just Brave, Beautiful Birth, Trusting God Through VBAC. So, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I think this was just a perfect interview. My heart is always so much lighter after I talk to you.
Aw.
I just love you so much.
I love you too. We need to meet up. It's too bad we don't
too.
live in the same town, and then we could like be Doula sisters rocking it together. But
hey, if you ever want to move to Nebraska, there's plenty of places to build out here. So
I just might do that.
All right. Well,
all right.
have such a good rest of your day. Thank you.
You
again.
too.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye.
All right. Bye.